Officials keep calling this an intrafamily case. Not trafficking, not a stranger, intrafamily. That one word is doing more than almost anything else in this investigation. And today, in a Vinton County courtroom, we got closer to understanding why. And just some background for anyone that's just tuning in. 16 children ages 18 months to 18 years old were pulled out of a 5-room house in Hamden, Ohio on June 30th. Most of them found in a single room, size 12 by 12. Okay, so 4 adults were arrested. The parents, Gary Siders Jr. and Elizabeth Siders, and along with the grandparents, Gary Siders Sr. and Christina Siders. All 4 face 16 counts of child endangerment each. All 4 have pled not guilty. So the word intrafamily and what it actually means, according to prosecutor William Archer, has used this term repeatedly and directly. So earlier today, he told reporters that this is an intrafamily situation. This is not human trafficking. He described it as involving a multi-generational family in a very limited situation. Here's the piece that's fueling the incest speculation, because when you look, Elizabeth Siders married Gary Siders when she was 15 years old. They crossed over into West Virginia in order to get married, and allegedly her parents are noted as, being witnesses to this. So Elizabeth Siders married Gary Siders Jr. when she was 15. Her attorney, Tommy Stoley, now says as of this week that his understanding is Elizabeth is the biological mother of all 16 children, with Gary Jr. as the father of all 16 children. But the oldest child is 18, meaning that the child was born when Elizabeth was around 14, 15, before or right around the time of the marriage. So some unconfirmed reports going around claim she began having children at 13, 2 years before the wedding. That gap, okay, who fathered a child conceived before she was legally married to Gary Jr. is the real unanswered question that's driving the intrafamily speculation and not just a vague label. To be clear, no one has been charged with incest. This is just speculation and rumor. Archer has explicitly said he can only prosecute based on evidence, not what's circulating online, and that's what we're going to do. We're going to state facts, not what we rumor or what we speculate. What happened in the courtroom today, there were 2 major developments as of this afternoon. So Gary Siders Sr. was released from custody, but not because charges were dropped. En route to a hearing, he suffered a medical emergency, fell, and was taken to Oblenis Hospital in Athens, Ohio. Doctors found a serious, undisclosed medical condition. A judge converted his $300,000 cash bond to a recognizance bond for those that have unfortunately been incarcerated, even temporarily. You understand that it's called a recog bond, which is when they let you out saying that, hey, we're trusting you to come back when you're supposed to. Whatever way this plays out, we're trusting you to come back. So no money was required. And because keeping him in county custody with that level of care, needed, it would have been financially devastating for the county. He'll reportedly be GPS monitored, and his attorney has filed for a competency evaluation with a possible insanity defense on the table. So that was the first major update. The other update is Elizabeth Siders' attorney has filed to modify her bond. Court filings say she wants to be reunited with her children and doesn't have the money to post $300,000. Her attorney is separately exploring whether she could be treated as a victim in this case, not just as a defendant, pointing to the age she was when she started having children. So again, those are the things that came out of the press conference earlier today, and these are the things that still have not been confirmed. So no incest charges have been filed against anyone, right? The indoctrination claim from a man online identifying as Elizabeth's brother has not been verified by any outlet, and no grand jury indictment yet. All four waived their preliminary hearings this week. So, in close here, intrafamily isn't just a clinical word prosecutors are using to avoid saying. It isn't just a clinical word prosecutors are using to avoid saying something ugly out loud. It points to a real unresolved question about who fathered a child before Elizabeth was even old enough to marry. And until those charges reflect that, one way or the other, that question is, it's just a question. It's not a fact. And I'll keep pulling on it as the case moves forward.